player out there. Like you said, though, Vitor going 2-0. These gentlemen going a little quick and loose in their game number ones. We saw Valk minor mortar out of Vitor, and of course out of Pandora it was minor control, but then as they got into game number 2 and 3, they both kind of slowed things down and increased the weight of their deck. So it'll be interesting to see if they start off with the exact same pace, and so far with Skelly's non-evolved, it's looking like it could be that way.
Pigs at the bridge from Pandora, and we have a fisherman in contention here, but it's not going to activate King Tower. You need a full health pig to be able to activate King Tower versus these piggies.
And that is a great call by you, Juice. Looking like we could be seeing Royal Giant at the bottom of our screen. Yeah. Probably an Evo to RG, which is a little interesting just because a lot of people think that Evo to RG is one of the worst Evos in the game now, but we've seen it have some success here. Mugi yesterday, and maybe Vitor here today, and obviously top of your screen, Evo to Archers, no surprise there, Juice.
Royal Giant just barely not getting a hit here, and Pandora up quite a bit of damage in this situation. Pandora having great defense, like you said, with that Tesla. The big thing I want to mention here is that Fire Spirit, though. That Fire Spirit not going to be able to freeze up these Royal Giants. Ice Spirit is so imperative for defense versus that.
Yeah, that's a really, really great point that you make, especially once that Evo to RG comes out. You want to be able to drop units on top of it, but really for Pandora, I feel like his best response is going to be those Archers throughout.
Yeah, especially the Evo Archers, right? Because you just play them on the opposite lane of your Tesla and prevent that fireball value. And a lot of the time, the damage that they have can be enough, even with just a log, to help support.
Against the other top 16 players out there, we look and see that Pandora has a 67% win rate with Royal Hogs, and then hopping over to his opponent in Vitor, a 70% win rate with Royal Giant.
70%, that is solid. Nothing compared to Mo Light's win percentage with RG. We saw that the other day, unbelievably. But, I mean, we do have a bowler in the right-hand lane here. It's making it so that these pigs on the left-hand side are getting quite a bit of damage. Evo Archer is getting a lot of value. That egg will survive.
And egg does survive. We'll see if Vitor wants to double down on that. Said he does, in a way, by going RG in the back. Do you like that play instead of going aggressive at the bridge?
It makes sense right now. Bowler does somehow chip that Tesla down. So now when the RG gets to the bridge, Pandora's going to need another Tesla in cycle.
And Fisherman goes in front there, Juice, but then stops because of the Archers. Really nice placement there by Vitor as he has a second Royal Giant coming out.
2 RGs, this is what RG's all about. We have double connection on both sides. Royal Delivery coming down, Lightning gonna clip a couple skeletons, but Vitor is gonna knock back and get some damage here, but he's not in the good yet.
Yeah, you know, an interesting Lightning there, but I think the thing to hold on to is that Vitor wasn't actually down in any elixir. Now Pandora goes those Evo to Archers once again at the bridge. Something behind, maybe?
Evo Archers! Oh, tower! One's on tower! Oh, 7 to 192 already on the right-hand lane.
And that is a huge misstep by Vitor, who honestly wasn't really in a bad position, but maybe just a small misplay there, Juice.
Yeah, here comes another round of pigs. He does not have a building. He goes boulder on his weak side tower. He gets the Fisherman down, but once again, not going to be able to activate unless the piggy is full health.
And it's interesting that, I mean, he does keep going there for good reason, I guess, but it'd be really nice to get that King Tower activation, Juice.
Evo RG at the bridge, Barbarian Barrel over the river instead of Lightning, trying to save some elixir potentially for these Archers. RG is getting to the tower. There is another Tesla in hand.
Wow, Pandora is playing this masterfully. Another Royal Delivery comes down, stops that push. 70 seconds remaining here in game number 1.
Pre-prepared for any sort of pigs, blocking this right-hand side. We have a minute left on the clock. Vitor needs another double Royal Giant push.
And right now, Pandora doing the smart thing by going aggressive in the left-hand lane. Now that Bowler and Fisherman are both out of cycle, that means that he has to defend and cannot double down on the push on the right-hand side, which is what you know he wants to do. He wants to get an RG in the mix, and here we go. This forced RG could mean more pigs coming out on the left-hand side.
These Evo Archers going down to that Barbarian is so fantastic, but does he have a bowler for these pigs? He does. Archers on the defense to the right-hand side. Fire Spirit does connect. This is a lot of damage.
He's on the tower, and that's it. Vitor knows it. You can see it on his face. Pandora taking another big win.
Wow, I mean, Pandora made a beautiful set of plays there. I liked how he was always waiting for the bowler to come out and then going pigs opposite lane. And if the bowler...
2 coming your way in just a moment as the two of them are setting up their decks, and now Vitor facing a trip down to the lower bracket, but I guess the one thing to hang on to both, or for both of these gentlemen, is that they still have a life to give here in 2023.
Miner going to be tanking for these Goblins. A little bit of a misplace from Vitor there. That's going to deal with the Goblins' little Prince on the Miner.
No, we've seen that twice today now, Juicy. We were backstage together. You were saying Mugi did it. Now we're seeing Vitor do it. There's no reason to be that far away. You can go one tile closer, not worry about the NATO King Tower activation. So maybe just a little bit of shaky hands, a little bit of nerves.
Mega Knight in the back from Pandora. We might be seeing another Mega Knight Evo Bat Goblin Giant here. And I do not like to see this deck. It's like Mega Knight Goblin Giant, really. Is that how the meta has become?
Well, either way, I'm sure you'll be able to pick up 20 wins with it, Juice, as this MK connects on top of the tower, and things go from bad to worse here for Vitor from game 1 to game 2, and that little Prince barely gets taken care of, and if that had not gone down, that could have already been tower down for Vitor, who was able to survive, but now down over 1,000 HP.
And I think the reason he's really struggling to deal with that Mega Knight is because look at Vitor's deck, he's lacking a tank. He's focusing on using the little Prince ability as his tank, but he did not have that in cycle, and that's why he's really struggling here. But he has a nice mortar connection here, getting a lot of damage.
Yeah, great catch there, great Ice Spirit. Now he's baiting out even more elixirs, so you see he's got a decent elixir advantage, and this makes it a lot easier to deal with this little Prince because you could just go something cheap like minions. Instead, he goes Miner, then minions.
I like the Miner plus minions. It's going to counter everything, and we have a fairly even match. Rage going to take out these minions there. Vitor up slight amount of elixir. He decides to go mortar right away. That might be okay.
That's huge.
Lock, but Pandora might be able to defend this and counter push with double elixir coming in.
And there it is. Pandora goes, no problem. You can get a couple shots in, but can you defend this? And we are about to find out the answer to that question. Maybe a little early on the ability there, but I think maybe he's trying to protect the little Prince from those stab goblins. Ice Spirit able to clean most everything up. 11:58, 6:54. We see Vitor raising his hand.
Raising his hand. I hope everything's all right. The gameplay was perfect from him there. What I really love to point out here is the fact that the double elixir really ended up being in Vitor's favor.
Yeah.
He wasted all of his elixir, not wasted, he used it for that mortar connection. But then he was able to defend with double elixir coming in.
And you see right there, Vitor recognizes he maybe played that just one tile too high. Now the little Prince able to pick things off, and he has got a very heavy push coming in. You're gonna need to hold on that little Prince ability, and his hand is back up again, and now you can see Vitor visibly upset.
Goblin's minions, maybe he's lagging. He wasn't able to place those cards. I mean, he was in the driver's seat. I don't know what's happening here.
And you can see Vitor very, very upset, and understandably so, with so much on the line here. Gonna have a conversation with League Ops about maybe what went on, and we'll be back to you guys with the results of this conversation in just moments. And it looks like something may have happened a handful of times. And we did hear some issues with phones locking, maybe?
Yeah, so maybe the phone was turning off mid-game, and that's why he wasn't able to play those goblins down in time. Either way, it's a very unfortunate situation. We'll have to wait and hear back to see what is going to happen.
And this conversation, definitely a tough one for Pandora, who wants to celebrate how well that game went. But as you said, Juice, and as Pandora most likely knows that his opponent kind of stopped responding the way that his CRL Pro would in a moment like that with so much on the line. And this is a tough spot for everyone on stage. And you can see they're touching the lock button on the side. Not sure exactly what may have happened, but I'm starting to think more and more that it could have been the phone locking, because Vitor put his hand up and then was able to hop back into the game very quickly. He didn't waste any elixir. And then as the game went on, obviously a bit more frustrating as we're ticking down.
Yeah, it just happened again at the wrong moment, right? That Goblin Giant just coming in. Goblins, minions, not able to defend in time. And yeah, we'll have to, I mean, League Ops still doing their job, trying to figure out exactly what the cause of the problem was. Pandora, like I said, you can't help but feel bad for Vitor here, but also when things like this happen, it's tough for the player who won as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, obviously you want to still take the win home, but these players also very friendly with one another. Maybe not the way that you want to pick up that win, but
absolutely,
such is life. And Pandora and Vitor, like we stated before, still in the upper bracket. Not really the way that you want to have to lose one of your lives. Remember, that is only game 1 of this best of 3, and still just really giving it to that lock button. You show him.
So we are hearing word from the producers. Apparently he was complaining that it was locking, but as League Ops is checking if it was locking or not, it is not. So it should be a red victory here.
Yeah, very difficult there because replicating something like that in the moment doesn't always work, but there's not really a way to go back and check how many times your iPhone or phone has locked, you know. So again, a very unfortunate situation, but you know, we're gonna have to just play this out and see how things go. And as you said, Juicy, it might be leaning towards a red win. And this conversation continues on, and hey, maybe not the best moment to bring it up, but clashevents.supercell.com is a great way for you guys to get involved in the action, since right now we're not getting a lot on stage. And we see there former pro Rad. What up, Rad? Anthony D'Angelo there on the far left-hand side. Pompeo as well.
Yeah.
I hear he's pretty cool. Look at that smile from Pompeo. Just a likable guy.
All right, so it sounds like it is going to be a red victory here. And can we get a reminder on what the score of the overall match is?
Well, it's just 1-0 now for Pandora. It is absolutely confirmed and in the history books. So game number 1, match number 1 here between these two. All right, it is a match win for Pandora. It's only game. So not the way you want to see it go, but Pandora will take the match win here. We will not be playing game 2 again. And while taking the breath out of the room a little bit, still Pandora survives in the upper bracket. Vitor has lost his 1 life to give, and we'll see more of him later today.
A brutal change, but as you said, it was the upper bracket. Vitor still has a very good chance in the lower bracket, and he can still come back for that championship.